Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, we're going to add one more figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now, this time we will take a look at TheSignal Duke Thomas. Now, he is a part of the Bat family. Not too versed on this character, but I do remember his release from the Mattel Multiverse. That one did come with two heads, so of course I ended up buying two to display both versions. Now, this is around the time, I guess, of the We Are Robin, where there was multiple Robins or something like that, but like I said, don't really know too much about that storyline. But one thing, he does look pretty interesting. Now, I don't have too many expectations as we're going into this, but let's check him out and see what we're working with. Now, he does look pretty impressive in the packaging, but let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. But first, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Now, these are not really needed, but sometimes they do come in useful. He also comes with his data file card. On the front, you do have some source material. Pretty interesting artwork. Getting some Mike Mignola vibes. And on the back, you do have some information. Now, you can read up on this guy, Duke Thomas. As I said, I don't know much about him, but he is a member of the Bat family, so happy to add him to the collection. Take care of that. Now, he does come with some accessories. These are kind of like axes or something like that. They're pretty nice detail, nicely sculpted. The basic plastic molding with no added paint is a little bit of a letdown, but they do look nice and they are unique weapons to this character. You put them back to back, it kind of makes like a little bat symbol. Pretty cool. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at him. Now, first impressions, as I said before, don't know too much, but he looks really interesting. Has a cool, like, kind of tactical urban kind of uniform. You could tell that he's been taking advantage of the technology from Batman. So rather interesting look. Now, that original look from the figures that I have of him, it's come a long way from that was kind of like a homemade costume, and of course this is a full-fledged Wayne Tech costume, so pretty cool. Now, of course, we did have another release of Duke Thomas from McFarlane, but that was from the Death Metal. I do have that figure, I just haven't taken a look at him, but I might do that here coming up, or you never know. Got a lot of things on my plate, so we'll see how it goes, but does look really cool. Love the design of the costume. Not too excited about yellow and black, but it does separate him from the other members of the Bat family. Take a look at the head sculpt. Nicely sculpted helmet. Has a weird shape to it, kind of kind of Martian Manhunter shape, like where it's elongated on the back, but some cool detail sculpted in there. Lots of panels and different little parts of armor on it. And then you do have his exposed mouth. Pretty cool. Take a look at the articulation. He does look down really well. He also looks up really well. Great range on this head. You got right to left. And of course you can tilt his head for some character. Love the range in this head. McFarlane getting really good at the range on the figures' heads where they could look up almost all the way. Going down and checking out this bat symbol on his chest, it's actually a really interesting paint. It's like silver, but kind of like reflective, which is pretty awesome. Now, I do know that in the comics, he is kind of like a metahuman now. I'm not sure what his power is, but being the signal, it has probably something to do with light or something like that. But I do like that symbol on the chest, and then of course the belt. You got one of those panel, different little pouch belts that sometimes is reminiscent of the bat family. Love how the bats go down into the bottom, like where the abs are. Nice little added bat motif. Let's take a look at the waist articulation. You do have side to side. You got that full tilt-a-whirl at the waist. Kind of interesting how it's like a softer rubber overlay and it goes over the trunks. That way it kind of covers the top of the trunk, so it makes it a more sleeker fit. You do have a lower waist swivel, upper chest swivel, and you can twist them, get them in some action poses. Now, pretty interesting with that rubber overlay, he has an awesome forward crunch. Pretty nice. Almost an L there, and then of course he leans back. Per usual with McFarlane figures for some jumping poses. Let's take a look at the shoulders. He does have that faux butterfly kind of bushing socket joint that has a lot of range. Up and down, front to back, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that look actually pretty clean, and then straighten them back out. Now he has some shoulder pauldrons that are mounted on the shoulders, but they do raise up a little, and then coming down, cool texture work on the actual arm pieces, going into some gauntlets that are designed really nicely, and into some grasping hands. On the other side you have the same thing. You also have articulation at the wrist, swivel and hinge. 4 ways of articulation. All in all, pretty nice. Now, if you try and go straight up, the shoulder pauldrons kind of hit, so you kind of can't get the full T-pose. But if you just swivel it back a little, adjust the arms, then you could get them in that full T-pose. Arms above the head, kind of separated there. You can't get them too close. But he does have cutouts where you could put the arms sort of in front of the body. Of course, that'll be cool for when he uses his weapons. All in all, nice articulation. It is really smooth, and the materials that McFarlane used on this one is really nice. Take a look at the thigh swivel. Now, it does have thigh swivel kind of tight. I mean, if you heat this up, you'll probably get more range, but that means you can swivel the leg and move the foot without having a thigh cut. Kick up really high. Kick back really high as well. Now, when the trunks get ribbed up like this, do not worry. When you put them back, they go back to their original form. You cock out the leg, bend it. He does have that hip swivel. Double jointed knees, really nice cut there. Straighten them out, up and down at the ankle, right to left, and of course, rocker and toe articulation. Now before we go, let's take a look at the lower legs. Love the sculpted ankle joints here. They fit really well with this boot. Love the design. Love the texturing on the inside, and then the more leathery kind of texture feel on the outside. Kind of armor, feels like a little bit of like armorish kind of design for the outer thigh. But then you have that underneath suit that is more kind of like a micro bead texture. Interesting laces as well for the boots. All in all, looks really good. Like I said, don't sleep on this one because it's pretty awesome. I mean, you might not like the color scheme or know the character, but it is a really well put together and articulated figure. Take a look at the bottom. No tread, but he does have some identifying marks. Coming up the back. Nice sculpt work. I love the wrinkles in the suit. Going back up into the armor of the back, the belt. Cool design on the back. Now, one thing that is missing here is like a missed opportunity, and it would have been like the perfect touch, was to have something to store his weapons, like his little axes. They kind of messed up there. You know, it's really like something that would have put that perfect little cherry on top. But also, we can look for something and maybe add something to be able to store the weapons. So I'll look into that for some custom work. So all in all, really cool figure. Like the design, I like the feel of him. Of course, he's really articulated. You can get him in some crouching, jumping, kicking, awesome poses. Definitely no shortage of posability here. But before we go, let's go ahead and bring out some other figures to compare him with. First, I do want to bring out my Tim Drake Robin that I customized the arms on. Looks really smooth, and actually these two scale really well together. And they actually look really, really nice together. I'm going to do a video. I need to open that that Bat Family 5-pack, and then I'm going to do a video of all the Bat Family figures. But yeah, these guys look really good together. I did modify this Tim Drake to add my little touches, but really happy with him, and he's fun to pose around. Then let's bring in my modified Batman. Now, as you can see, usually this Three Jokers Batman is like super tall, and I finally figured out how to modify it to where you can't even tell, but he is shorter and more in scale with these characters. He's not like a giant tower overing them. And the way you can tell this is when I bring in now my also modded Hush Superman. He's actually taller than all of these because I made him like a couple of millimeters taller. And it was really simple by just adjusting where the thighs go into the little like carriage that he has for his to insert the thighs. But as you can see, he's like a little bit taller than Batman, but Batman is taller than these two. So now they scale really nicely. So all in all, I'm kind of surprised. Didn't expect much from him, but he's made really nicely. Like the materials and the design of like how they put him together is really nice for posability and stuff like that. Now the articulation is really smooth, and when you have him in your hand, he has like a sort of light feeling, but not light like in a cheap way, more like light like in the materials that they used aren't too heavy, and it kind of keeps them kind of flowy, you know, where you could move them around really easily when you articulate them. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with him. Aside from they didn't put no storage for his weapons, and also maybe some fist would have been nice with this one. But for the price point, you know, this is what we're getting for now. So take the good with the bad. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.